Sup everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about something that part of the community has been talking about, and people have been DMing me saying, Walrus, what are your thoughts, right? And of course, it's about MTash. I'm sure most of you know it. If you guys don't, right, the guy pretty much quit the game. Yes, I know this is the whole meme, but listen, this video is not meant to dog on MTash. I've never in the past hated on the guy. I've never in the past attacked him personally in any way. I've given my thoughts about his approach to what he does, and now we're gonna use him as an example for how Genshin Impact kind of deconstructs and break down content creators. Now, I'm not saying Hoyoverse, I'm just saying the game. All right, let's just keep it about the game. No personal attacks, and I wish that people who are watching this video, sure, you might not like the guy, he might not be your favorite content creator, but you know, he is still someone that has a huge following and has people who respect him, and I think we should at the very least respect what he has built as opposed to the content that he puts out. Okay, so I hope people are mature enough, and going forward we're gonna be looking at this subject from a more objective point of view as opposed to stuff coming personally. So talking about Genshin Impact, the thing about Genshin Impact is that it's a game, I've said in the past, that is designed to be played and enjoyed, consumed, or even in small dosages, right? Small dosages. You'll know this if you have been playing Genshin for a long period of time. The only possible way that you can still be playing this game and enjoying aspects of the game is if you have consumed it in small amounts. I'm talking about doing your daily grind, playing some events here and there, or maybe nitpicking certain events that you enjoy, certain game modes that you enjoy, and just don't do the things that you don't enjoy. Let's say you absolutely hate the spiral bits, you hate it with a passion, and if you've been forcing yourself to do that for a year, yeah, it just really takes one little push to send you overboard because you're already on edge. You've been doing something that you don't enjoy actively for a year, and really just for the thing of MTash is he's been doing something that he doesn't enjoy, and it took the TCG combined with the article that was posted from Genshin to finally break him, right? People who actively do things that they don't enjoy, not just in Genshin, in anything, it really takes very few small things to just send them over the edge. Another good example in life is, let's say you're working a job you really don't enjoy, and there's this coworker who's constantly nagging you, or a superior who just bullies you without really knowing it. You know what I mean? They belittle you, they make jokes about you, and you kind of just take it, and it really just takes one small thing to send these people over the edge. And that's the best example I can give you. Let's say one day the coworker comes in and makes a joke about your wife, your kids, or something. They just say something that maybe necessarily isn't a harassment, but it's just okay, I'm done. And then you just lose it, right? It's not because of that particular comment. It's the accumulation of you bottling in and just taking it the whole time. No one can just take it forever, okay? It's the same thing with Genshin. I don't know why people don't understand this. You guys must have played games in the past that are not Genshin Impact. You played them and you've quit them. Very rarely do people play games for more than a couple of years at best. Even your favorite games, maybe 3, maybe 4 years, and you quit, and by the 7th year, you may come back, play for a couple months, but it's never going to be play for another 3-4 years. Good example would be World of Warcraft. You kind of just drift apart over time, or the developers loses touch with the player base, they get complacent, they make a lot of money, they don't care anymore, right? Or the game just completely loses what it used to be, loses its soul kind of, and becomes something else completely. Happens all the time, right? World of Warcraft, League of Legends, a lot of people say the best days of League of Legends was season 1, season 2, when nobody knew what the hell they were doing. There was no meta. People wouldn't just troll you because you weren't playing meta. People were discovering it. You were playing with friends when rank wasn't taken so seriously. There wasn't a pro scene, so there wasn't balance. You guys know what I mean, right? These kind of games. Genshin Impact right now, it's headed towards its 3rd year. We've passed the 2nd year mark, going towards its 3rd year, and for the vast majority of players who are playing this game, they enjoy it, right? MTash and people like MTash, Redditors and stuff, people who constantly talk about wanting more difficult, challenging content that can really make the characters that they've summoned for, they've built up, be put to good use. And I'm certainly no one who is opposing that idea, but at the same time, I'm okay with how the game is now. Now, am I happy, overjoyed, being like, this is the best game in the whole wide world? Absolutely not. I'm not crazy to think like Genshin is the best game just because it's casual, because it has no competition, it has no leaderboards, and no pay to win. But at the same time, I'm okay with how it is because, and here's the really important thing, I have other things that I want to do with my life. I have things that I do that are not game related. I have things that I want to do that involves family members, friends. I have other games that I want to wind down and play. And if a game like Genshin demands too much of my time, I won't have the leeway to go do any of the other stuff. It's just not going to be possible. And if I do choose that, then I would have to cut down on other games that I play, so I won't be able to experience different variety of genres and stuff. And it just takes away so much freedom from me as a gamer, as a person, as a content creator, just in general. So I'm really thankful to Genshin for that it doesn't demand that much of my time. And for people who's like, well, Walrus, what about the free-to-plays? We got to play all the events. And I was like, yeah, but Hoyoverse essentially kind of gave us a choice. If you don't want to play the game and play through all our events, then pay. Open up your wallet and pay maybe like $100-200 a month if you want to guarantee the character. Then play like that. Right? And that's the route I've chosen, and that's the route that I've enjoyed the game the most. Let's be honest here, the videos that I make here for YouTube, like as a side hobby covering this game with like the very small amount of free time that I have in my days, yes, they do cover for the money that I spend in this game. I'm not stupid enough to spend my own money in this game with how I'm playing the game, being incredibly selfish with the type of content that I consume. Like, no, that's stupid for me to do that, right? You can do that, but for me to do that, I think that's pretty stupid. I pay for the game with the content that I make to cover for the game with my free time, and I have more free time to play other games and to enjoy with family and friends. It's a perfect recipe, and this is how some people have been able to play this game for 2 years and still going strong. Oh my goodness, like, oh, you get hype and stuff. Another thing is, I'm not calling people out, but if you consume content like meta content, leaks, theory crafter content, you do take away a lot of the game for yourself as well, because you don't get to explore anything. You have everything figured out already on day one. Like, these people are in the beta, they already figured this stuff out a patch beforehand. When the patch drops, everything's already solved. You go figure it out. A good example is I recently figured out the whole like Raiden elemental skill thing with Nahida building EM and just testing things out. It took me like 3 patches to figure that out. Can you guys imagine how much content I've been like just kind of going through on my own, enjoying the game, trying things out when I have free time? That's content. That's Genshin. But a lot of people have that taken away from them willingly. They themselves took that away from themselves by just, oh, I need to know what's the best thing to play. Even though there's no competition, there's nothing. People just want to know the best way to play some of their favorite characters. They don't want to bother with like experimenting with the units they have and trying things out. I mean, some people do. I know people in my audience, they do that. But a lot of people, they don't do that. They just go out, find the best thing, and just play it. Right? So of course you're going to be bored, because like one of the few saving graces when it comes to Genshin Impact is figuring out synergies, playstyles, uniqueness between certain characters and compositions. But that's all solved for you if you wanted to. For me, that's one of the few saving graces I have for this game. So of course I'm not going to go out and watch guides and watch theory craftings and have them figure all this stuff out for me. It was incredibly fun when I finally figured out. I was like, oh my god, I got to share with people. And now I see it on my video. People knew this back in 3.0. No wonder people say like, oh, game dead, game's so dry. Right? It's like, I know I'm slow, but I'm slow because I'm taking things at my pace. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys through this entire video, is that you need to pace this game to your lifestyle, to your preferred speed of progression, of consumption, okay? If you are somebody who is full on diehard about everything Genshin Impact, just consume at a rapid pace then, because you'll have enough content. You got like a bunch of lore, you got a bunch of side quests, you got a bunch of character optimizations, you got a bunch of grinding to do. You have like now the TCG, you have the teapot. If you love everything, you love the mini games, you love the Archon quest, you love the character quest, you love the hangout events, like everything. There's a lot to do in this game. But if you, let's say, if you're somebody who just enjoys combat, period. That's it. You don't care about the story. You don't care about anything else. Just combat. Well, buddy, man, like you probably should pump the brakes a little bit if you want to like survive long-term in this game. I mean, if you're just a player, you don't care about surviving long-term, that's fine. Play your heart out for like 2-3 patches and then realize, okay, it's just repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and then you dip maybe for 3, 4, 5. Some people dip for a year. Fontaine comes around, Hydro Archon comes out, another booba situation like the Raiden Shogun, and you come back with your credit card, swipe. That's fine as well. What I'm telling you is, if you sit here every day logging in, doing this stuff, and you feel miserable, it really just take 1, 2, maybe 3 small things that pushes you over the edge. You're done. And Mtash recently realized this, right? If you guys saw his video, you guys haven't, I'll summarize it. Basically, when the TCG came out, Mtash didn't enjoy it. He felt like, it's too RNG based. The dice rolling aspect really killed deck diversity, and decks are just now homogenized, and like it's really just RNG. Roll the dice. Okay, you lost the game if you got bad RNG like once or twice in a row, and it's over. He does have a point. However, the TCG is also in its infancy, but we're not going to get into that. However, right now, it made him realize, combined with the article, that Genshin Impact, Hoyoverse has devoted a ton of resources and time, money into making TCG, and it's likely going to continue updating it. So it's just another thing that's going to pull resources. So he's been waiting for like a year, hoping that Subaru has something, maybe a new feature, kind of like the Teapot, but a more like try-hard combat-based feature, and it wasn't it. And he didn't really enjoy the game mode, and that sent him over the edge. Normally, if he was enjoying certain aspects of the game, taking it slow, it wouldn't have been a problem, right? But because, like I said, things just kept bottling up, it really only took this one tiny thing and he was done. He can't do it anymore. And here's another thing about Genshin content creators, and I'm so fortunate I don't have to deal with this, is because a lot of them stream like 5 days in a week, and they stream for like long hours, 4, 5, I don't know, like 6 hours. Some even probably streams for 8 to 10 hours a day. Genshin is not built for you to play for 8 to 10 hours a day. You can't play Genshin for 8 to 10 hours a day. It is not possible. Is it? I don't know. Comment down below. Can you fish for 10 hours? Can you collect every like mint? Do you have like a mint route and all these things? You just collect everything every day and you just stream that? Do people actually, you know what? Don't answer that question. I know people will watch that. The burden on a lot of these content creators who have to do this as a job is that they have to stream it as well. They have to make content for it. They have to stream it. And that really kills the game for you, because you're essentially sitting there forced to play this game, and there's always the looming threat of, oh, if I switch to another game, let's say for MTash, oh, let me switch to Destiny, well, there goes 80% of your viewers, right? There's always that looming threat. It's the same for all Genshin streamers, content creators, the big ones that have to do it as a living. It's just part of the job, and I commend Mtash for taking this step in the right direction, both for his mental health and likely for the future of his channel. You don't want to be that guy who's known or has a reputation for sitting there and being negative about a game that a lot of other people love and you refuse to leave, right? He's starting to build that reputation, and going forward, it's likely going to affect him negatively. Let me look at Tectone. He's been trying to run away from the shadows of his past through Arknights. We don't need to get into that whole saga situation, but it follows him. So I commend him. I think he's making a good choice. Spend some time with his family. I think he's done a great job in this space. Whether or not people believe that, I wholeheartedly believe it. I mean, I'll be honest, Tectone has inspired me to start content creation. Mtash has certainly inspired me. And I remember back in the day, Zeal's Ambitions inspired me. And look, these people moved on. They're still breathing. They're still fine. And I'm sure Mtash will be as well. And so will you. Understand that it's just a game. It's not that important. And to take it slow, to really savor it. Like if you had a juicy steak in front of you, you wouldn't just like take the whole steak and just guzzle it down without it. Like you would cut smaller pieces, eat it, really taste it. If you're fancy, maybe pair it with a wine. You'd enjoy it, savor it. That's what Genshin is, all right? I mean, feel free to disagree, comment down below. What do you guys think, honestly? Because every time we lose creator in this space, it just feels like it's the same thing. They really aren't treating this like a passion. They're treating it too much like a job. I mean, it is their job, but you can find work-life balance. All right, thank you guys so much. Until next time, Urgella, stay safe. Peace. Bye-bye.